Hello everyone, Catweazle here, welcome to the channel and welcome back to our playthrough of Darkest Night 2nd edition, where we're just about to start episode 4. But before we do, yes, I've been trying to diddle myself once again. Sharp-eyed viewers have noticed that during the last episode we had Thorne here, our druid, in the forest, and if you remember, he did a search action and he got 5, and I got all excited about Sacred Glade. I did give us the 2 clues that we received, and I forgot about the actual search itself. Yes, because he found something in addition to getting those 2 clues. So what we should have done is we should have pulled a map card to see what he gets. And what did he get? He was in the forest. He gets a treasure chest, which, if you recall, that means we draw 1 new power. So just bear with me a second while I get his powers. Here are the druid's powers. So he gets a new power and he got mist form. So inactive. When you would suffer a loss of grace, you may instead deactivate and exhaust all active forms, then activate this. Active. At the start of your turn, you may deactivate this and then activate any form. Deactivate if you travel. So he's now got mist form. So we'll put that over there on his player area. And we are now straight from last turn. I'll get rid of that, so apologies for that. Yes, he did search. I got him the 2 clues for the Sacred Glade and then forgot to actually give him what he found, but we've sorted that out now. Okay, so let's get straight on with episode 4, and our first player is once again going to be our seer, Vidya. So let's get across to her player area. And here we are with Vidya. So what we'll do is we'll pop that over, and yes, she's doing okay, but she doesn't have a great deal of powers. They're all exhausted, and to be honest, we could do with getting some secrecy back. So what I'm thinking of doing is we will actually hide, I think, this turn. We're going to stay in the mountains, but we're going to hide. That's going to get us a secrecy back with any luck. And what we'll do then is we will refresh all of these powers and start using them again next turn. We do have prediction. We could use that, but I think we'll wait until we actually get a holy relic. When we get a holy relic, then what we'll do is we'll have a go with prediction, because if we get a 6, that is sort of a guaranteed win. Yeah, we get a 6 that we can put on prediction. We can give the actual holy relic to the seer and we can guarantee a win. So I think we will leave that for the time being, and she'll just rest. She'll get a secrecy back and refresh her powers. Okay, so that's the plan. Let's get across to the board, because of course, first of all, she'll have to draw an event card and all that sort of gubbins. So we'll pop across back to the board and see how she gets on. And here we are with Vidya. We'll probably need this, so we'll pop that in there while I remember. And yeah, So, is the Necromancer there? No, he is not. We've got no start of turn effects on any of her powers, so we can skip that as well. So, it's straight into our favourite bit of the game, which is good old event cards. And we get an altar, which has 3 fate. Roll 1 die and take the highest. So, if we get a 4 to a 6, it's a pure altar. If we get a 1 to a 3, it's a defiled altar. You may spend 1 secrecy to gain a grace, and defiled altar is you spend 1 grace or you put the darkness track up by 1. Remnant of a forgotten time, delicate carvings worn down by age and neglect. So it doesn't seem too bad. So let's do a bit of rolling. Come on. A 3 pants. So we either spend a grace or we knock the darkness track up. We're going to put the darkness track up to 4. I think we're doing okay on the darkness, so we're going to put it up to 4. I don't particularly want her to lose another grace. She's got 4, but yes, what we're trying to do is we're very quickly going to try and find a mystery card and some clues and get that relic. So I'm hoping we can take a bit of a hit on the darkness track. So that's what we're going to do. So we can get rid of that now. That is it for her event card. And now we get cracking with her actual action. As mentioned, what we're going to do is we are going to hide. So we can refresh all her powers. So I'll go and refresh those. And she gains an extra secrecy, which puts her up to 4. So we're going to have to be careful about the secrecy for Vidya, for Lana and for Thorne. Remember, Costigan's pretty much okay because he has his void armour. So if the Necromancer is going to be coming after anybody, it's going to be one of these 3. So let's try and keep their secrecy quite high. Right, so that's it for Vidya. She is hiding. So that means that next up is Lana. And here we are with Lana. She is going to take her turn. And what is she going to do? She is actually going to search again. The castle's quite a good area to search. Are we going to use any of her powers? We could use Astral Surge, and that'll give us +1 die. But it's only a 2 to actually find something at the castle. So we're going to risk it for a biscuit, I think. I'm just going to hope that we don't roll a 1. We're going to keep Astral Surge for when we need it. I don't think she particularly needs it at the moment. She's not going to be fighting a blight or anything. So what we'll do, she's just going to search. Webs isn't too bad until she actually starts leaving the castle. So I think we will leave it as is. And if we have to use any of these powers, we'll just use the normal power rather than the astral beefiness. Okay, so that is it for her. And yes, let's get across to the castle and let's see if she can find anything. And here we are at the castle with Lana. Okay, so she's going to search, but first of all, is the Necromancer there? No, he is not. None of her powers have any start of turn effects, so we can ignore that as well. So we're straight into the Sunny event. We love it. And what have we got? A dark champion. This doesn't look good. Compared to the darkness, which we've just shoved up, it's now 4. Alright, so that's fine. 0 to 9, we've got a ghoul. If it was 10 to 19, we get a revenant. 20 plus, we get a slayer. So we either defend against it, where we've got to roll a 4, or we can roll a 3 to elude it. If we fail, we lose a grace. A mountain of metal and darkness, it bears down upon you with the hatred that only the dead can muster. Right, so, well, obviously we've got the ghoul and it's easier to elude. Is there anything we can use? I think there is actually. We're going to use Eddie again. We're using Eddie a lot. I keep thinking he's like an ally, but it's Eddie as in an eddy of water. So it's a tactic, elude with 2 dice. So that's what we're going to do. We need a 3 or better with 2 dice. Come on. We get a 6 and a 3, so that's great. She has managed to elude the Dark Champion, so we can get rid of that. Now she can get on with her turn, which is going to be a search. So 1 dice, we'll use that 6. Come on, we need a 2 or better. A 1, you are kidding me. Well, there you go. But you know what? I'd have still took that chance. That is just unlucky. I'd have still done that. I don't care. I don't care that I rolled a 1 there. It's just, well, I do, but you know what I mean. I would still have took that chance every single time. You've got to back yourself, and rolling a 1 is just rolling a 1, and it happens. Okay, so she hasn't found anything. That is the end of her turn. The blight is fine. Webs, we're not leaving the castle, so we don't have to deal with that. Oh, and similar, Vidya didn't have to deal with that void blight, so she could just ignore that. Okay, so that's it for Lana, who obviously cannot see. There is something seriously wrong with her eyesight. Okay, so after her, yes, we're going to go to Thorne again. So it's down to the forest. And here we are with Thorne. Now, originally I was going to have him move. I was thinking perhaps of moving him to the ruins. But we've really got to search again now. So, bit of a pain. But, yes, I was counting on Lana actually searching at the castle. So we're going to have to search at the forest. And he's not a great searcher, to be honest. But he'll stay in the forest. That does mean we might have to use visions. If you recall that we've got the Omen Blight there, so we're going to have to draw 2 event cards. But I think he's going to have to search. It's a bit tricky searching at the forest. You've got to get a 4 or above. And that's not ideal. But we do need to get these 2 final clues. So he's going to stay where he is, and he is going to search. Okay, right, let's get back over to the board and let's see if he can find anything. And here we are with Thorne at the forest. So first of all, is the Necromancer there? No, he is not. And none of his powers have got start of turn effect, so that is fine. We go straight into 2 events because we have an Omen Blight in the forest. Our first one is a Black Banner for, ooh, nasty. Count the blights in your location. Well, there's only 1, so that's not bad. So that'd be an archer. We need to defend 4, or we need to elude with a 4. Failure will lose a grace. The emblem bores through your eyes and sinks into the pit of your stomach. Dun, dun, dun. Well, we've got to draw another one. We may get an even worse one. Demon. Well, this is only a 3, so we won't be doing this one, but we'll have a look at it. We compare to Secrecy. Well, Secrecy is quite good. It is, I think it's 4. Oh no, it's 5 actually. Grace is 4. Oh yes, that's another thing from last episode. Somebody did question whether I took a grace off. I did take a grace off. I haven't checked last episode, but I may have said I took Secrecy off. I didn't. I took a grace off. He's at 4 grace. So we'd compare to Secrecy, which is 5. We'd have got a Fearful Demon. That'd have been 3 to defend against, 4 to elude. Failure, we would have lost to Secrecy. A Stench of Sulphur and a Fiery Glow tell you immediately what manner of fiend you are facing. So, but we don't get this because it is only a 3. We've got to do the Black Banner. So what we've got to do is we've got to fight or elude. What are we going to do? Let's have a look at his card. And I think what we're going to do, we can fight with 2 dice because of his animal companion, but if you remember, if we fail, we have to exhaust the card. So we will use camouflage. Camouflage is a tactic, and we can elude with 2 dice. So we're going to use 2 dice. We're going to warm them up a bit because I'm rolling so rubbishly. And what we're going to try and do is we're going to try and get 4 or better with 2 dice. Come on. Oh. Come on. Snake eyes. Oh. So we lose a grace. So his grace goes down to 3 now. Said grace. It has gone down to 3. So that was awful. That is 3 1s in a row that I've rolled. So I do roll them. I'm rolling a few too many. Alright, well hopefully, you know, now he has, the Black Banner has robbed him of a grace, hopefully we will be able to search. Because that's what we're going to do with his action. He needs a 4 or better. Come on. 6. Yes. About time after all those bloody ones. Right, so map card. And remember, the Sacred Glade don't kick in now. It's just a place where we can pray. So we don't get an extra 2 clues like we did last time. Flip this over. Forest, yes, we get a mystery. That's what we've been after. So that is great news. Let's pull a mystery. Here's one. And let's see what we get. Perhaps if it wasn't upside down. The Pit. Well, this doesn't sound too good. Within this hole are imprisoned terrors and banes of ages past. It is filled with an infectious darkness, yet it holds much forgotten lore. So it's random, this. We do get 3 clues. We now have 11. That is brilliant. 1, 2, 3. We are on 11 clues. We can pick up a holy relic. Unfortunately, we've only got one person to go, and that is Costigan, and there are no holy relics in the village, unfortunately. Never mind. But we have got enough to pick up an holy relic. We've got to roll randomly now to see where it goes, and the way that works is it goes from the village, and we use these, whatever die we get. These symbols here will tell us where the pit is going. So let us roll. That is a 3. And it actually goes. I don't think you can see it, but that is a 3. So it is actually going to go in here. So it's going to go in the forest. And what we have to do is, if we spend a grace, we can get another 2 clues. But I think what we need to do now is pick up a holy relic extremely quickly. We have, for next turn, Vidya could pick one up. Also, Thorne could pick one up from the forest as well. And unfortunately, Lana in the castle and Costigan in the village can't pick one up as it stands because there is not a holy relic there. But that is good. We are on 11. So that is excellent. We've had a look at a few map cards. Haven't been able to get a mystery, but we finally got one. So that is great. Well done, Thorne. Okay, right. That just leaves one of our heroes left. That is Costigan, and he is in the village. Let's get across to his player area and see what he is going to do. And here we are with Costigan. He's still got his void armour. He's going to keep that up because, yes, he's in the village and the Necromancer is there, so he wants to keep that going. As far as any of his powers, well, we'll keep them as is as well. Now, what I was going to do, I was going to have him sort of attack the Stigma Blight, but I may leave that. The reason being is we can now pick up one of these holy relics. And I think that is the plan. We're going to pick up a relic, and because of that, I think we can afford to leave the Stigma. We will leave that, and if we move Costigan, it's going to be a net gain of no secrecy because he's going to move out of an area that's got a flux cage. So what he gets through moving, he's going to lose because he passes through a flux cage. But where do we move him to? Unfortunately, he's in the village, which is quite central. Necromancer is also in the village, who is quite central. I think I will move him to the forest with our friend Thorne. There is only one blight in the forest, because what happens when you come to fight the Necromancer? the Necromancer actually sacrifices blights, so you've got to get rid of blights first. Now, let's get to an area that doesn't have many blights. And unfortunately, the best area to go would be the castle, because the blight in there, the webs, that is only a 5 to defeat it. Unfortunately, we cannot pick up a relic there. The other area that would be good is the mountains, except the blight that's in there is a void blight and we need to roll a 7. Now, if we do have the relic, we can do that because it's a +1 to a die roll. Not +1 die, actually +1 to whatever you roll on a die. But, you know, we're going to have to roll 2 6s. We're going to have to roll a 6 to get rid of the void blight, and then we've got to roll a 6 to get rid of the Necromancer. So we're pushing it a bit there. So that only leaves the forest, really. We've got that omen blight in the forest. We've got to roll a 6 to get rid of that. But if we do have the holy relic, that means we can roll a 5 and a 6. So that is a bit easier to get rid of, and then we can concentrate on getting rid of the Necromancer. So I think the best area for him to go is the forest, and try and get everybody else there. If we can get Vidya to go via the monastery to get into the forest, that'd be good, and we'll have to start moving the channeler as well. The more people that we can get in the forest, the better. We just want to keep a handle on any blights and have plenty of goes that try to get rid of that blight, if you see what I mean. And then hopefully we will lure the Necromancer there if he doesn't come by himself, and we can finish him off. So we're moving pretty much into the end game. So we'll flip that over, and what we're going to do is we are going to move into the forest. So let's get over to the board. And here we are with Costigan in the village. Okay, what do we do? First of all, is the Necromancer there? Yes, he is, but we don't lose a secrecy because we are using void armour, which is amazing. So we don't have to lose a secrecy. As for his powers, they don't have any start of turn effects, so we can forget about that as well. And one thing, unfortunately, that we can't forget about is his event card. So we'll pull his event card, and we get Upheaval, which is 2 fates, so this shouldn't be too bad. Remove all blights from your current location, yes, and create an equal number of new blights. I thought we were going to get rid of all the blights then. Dark magic is notoriously unstable. Who knows what it will do next? So there's bloody 3 of them. So I've got to remove all those 3 and get 3 new ones. Well, that sounds great, except, well, it will be if we look out. I mean, we're getting rid of a stigma, at least. And, oh, in fact, like, if we don't get a flux cage, we may actually get a secrecy back when we move. But other than that, because there's spies. Yep, this spies lose a secrecy. Oh, in fact, I'd lose 2 secrecy, wouldn't I, because of the spies. But we're going to get rid of the spies. Let's see what we're going to get. So, get rid of these 3. They're going to go. And be pulling a lot of map cards by the look of it. So, first one for the village is a corruption. Oof. So let's get rid of upheaval. So we get a corruption. The next one we're going to get is skeletons. Corruption, skeletons, and webs. We've seen webs, haven't we? They're up there. Right, I'll just go and dig those out. Won't be a minute. And I'm back. So the first one we get is a corruption, which means you get no bonuses in this region, which is the village. It's a 5 to defeat it, and if you don't defeat it, you exhaust all of your powers. So that's a bit of a nasty one. So we'll put that in there. Next up is the skeletons. So these ones you actually have to defend against and stuff. I don't think we have to defend against them in this instance. It's just a change. So, or do we? we might have to actually defend against these right away. So that'd be 4 to fight them, and it would be 4 to elude them. If you fail, obviously it is you lose a grace, and if you want to fight them, it is 5, and you lose a grace if you don't manage to defeat them. In fact, I don't think we have to fight them. That's not till the end of the turn. Yeah, you don't have to defend against them till the end of the turn, and we're planning to move. So pop that there. Knocking all these over. Stay stood up. And the last one, this is the real kicker. I thought we were doing really well until I read this one. We actually lose a turn when we're leaving. This one will kick in, because we will actually be leaving, so we will lose a turn. Yeah. If we actually fought it, then we'd have to get 5 or better, and we'd lose a secrecy if we didn't manage to defeat it. But that webs is the worst one. So the way I'm reading it, we don't actually have to defend against the skeletons, because you don't have to do that till the end of a turn. And this is an event phase, so we've got a while yet, and we will be in the forest by the time it becomes the end of our turn. So I think we avoid the skeletons. We don't have to bother about the corruption, we're not fighting it, but the webs, we are leaving. The webs are here now, they've come in with the event. So when we actually leave the village, they are going to kick in, unfortunately. So we will lose a turn. Damn it! And the game fights back. So let's get rid of those. But we did get rid of the stigma, so that is something at least. Okay, and I've just realised as well, looking at the board, another good reason for Costigan to go to the forest is it's a Sacred Glade now, so you can actually pray here. So that's pretty good as well. So we didn't have to do any rolling, so I can get rid of that. And next up, what we're going to do is our action. Our action is to move, so we're actually going to do that. We will gain a secrecy, because there are no spies, there is no flux cage anymore, so we're going to go up to 2 secrecy. But we are going to lose a turn because of webs. So I'm just going to put Costigan on his side, so we know he has lost a turn. Oh, that is a bummer, because we wanted him to crack on and do some stuff. But another thing about losing a turn, though, it's very like void armour. Because you lose a turn, you don't do anything. It's sort of like you're out of the game for a turn. So at least nothing can sort of affect him, because he is completely out of that turn. So I don't even think the omen will still kick in. That will kick in the turn afterwards, because he doesn't get a turn next turn. He won't have to draw 2 event cards. We just skip him completely. He'll have to draw 2 event cards the turn after that, though. Yes, I'm sure that's how that works. Let me know if it isn't, but I'm sure it is. He's going to avoid that Omen Blight. So, yes, he did get a secrecy back. He has got into the forest. We've got the wherewithal to pick up an actual holy relic, which is great. Unfortunately, the main guy that we were going to use to do all the fighting has now lost a turn. So, not an unqualified success, but I think we are still doing pretty well. That is a good turn again. Despite the fact that I rolled 1s left, right and centre, we did get some good things happening there. Mainly, we can pick up a holy relic now, and we can look to defeat the Necromancer. Okay, so that is it for Costigan's turn, and that means it's the Necromancer's go. And here we are with the Necromancer. Okay, so first things first, we've got to move the darkness track up. That goes up to 5. That's okay, because we're doing so well on clues, so that's pretty good. Quests. We still haven't got a quest, so we don't have to put any timer markers on any of the quests. And then it is movement. Now, as far as movement goes, we're very lucky. Costigan has least secrecy with 2, but he's got the void armor on, so the Necromancer cannot see him, so that's great. Out of all of our other heroes, the least is Vidya. Vidya's got 4 secrecy, so the Necromancer has to roll a 5 or better. Yeah. If he rolls a 6, he can see the Channeler, the Druid, and the Seer. If he rolls a 5, he can only see the Seer. Hopefully he won't. And what's the other thing we don't want him to roll? We don't want him to roll a 3 either, because if he rolls a 3, he goes straight into the forest, and that's just annoying. What we'd prefer to do is for him to zoom off somewhere else and get out of the way for a bit. The ruins would be a good place for him to go, something like that. Okay, so we've got to roll a die, get a nice green one, and he rolls a 5, which is annoying because he can see Vidya. Oh! So he will move up here. So despite of all her hiding, she has been spotted. So he's moved up there. It's okay, we were planning to move Vidya anyway. I was thinking of getting her down to the monastery. So I originally, when she hid and got all her powers back, what I was hoping to do was, I was hoping to search, use dows, but we got that mystery card later on, so that was fine. Yeah, we can abandon that plan, and we can just get her moving next turn. We can get her to move into the monastery actually on her way down to the forest, so that's not too bad. But we do get a blight in the mountains, so that's a map card. And we get a taint, which doesn't sound too funky. Let's go and get one of those, won't be a moment. Well, that means you cannot gain grace, apparently. Hang on while I put it on a stand. So here's a taint blight. You cannot gain grace while in the mountains, unfortunately. If you attack it, you've got to get a 5 or better. If you fail in your attack, you will lose a grace. But we're just going to leave it up there along with void. Remember though, we do have 3 blights now in the mountains because the void counts as 2, which is a little bit unfortunate. So that is it for the Necromancer's turn, I think. But we're still in with, well, we're in with more than a shout. We're in with an excellent chance. Costigan, it loses a turn next turn, but even that's not the worst. I think we can stand for that. What we've got to do now is try and get everybody into the forest and tool people up. Make sure they have their, you know, any bonuses we can share that we can pump up in order to beat the Necromancer. We want to be rolling a few dice when we take him on. We also need to get rid of this Omen Blight down here. Then that means that the Necromancer has no blights that he can sacrifice. And then we can just get on with trying to kill him. Obviously, before we do that, we're going to have to pick up the actual Holy Relic. But we can get Thorne to do that. Unfortunately, Costigan can't do it because he's going to miss a turn next turn. But Thorne, he'll be able to pick up that Holy Relic, and he can always pass it over to Costigan. And that does mean we can't get rid of the Omen next turn, because Thorne is actually going to have to pick up the actual Holy Relic. So that is his action. And yes, we'll start moving Vidya and Lana towards the forest, I think. And yes, that Omen is the only problem. In fact, I might have Thorne hold off and not pick up the Holy Relic. I might have Thorne try and kill that Omen. Yeah, we might attack the Omen, try and get rid of the Omen first. It might be best to do it that way. And yeah, we'll move Vidya into the monastery. The turn after that, I think Vidya will make use of her prediction. Hopefully try and get a 6. And then we could pass the actual Holy Relic on to her, and she'd be guaranteed you'd be absolutely guaranteed to kill the Necromancer because of that die on prediction. Assuming we rolled a 6, of course. Probably roll a 1 the way I was going in this episode. But yes, it's looking pretty good. We've, despite rolling pretty badly, I think we've come out on top there. We managed to get some mysteries early on in the game, and we've also managed to pick up the requisite clues. So we stand on 11. There's still a chance of us getting 2 more if we do the pit. And yes, that looks pretty cool. Okay, so we'll leave it at that. I'll have a bit of a think about what I'm going to do, but those are a few of the early thoughts that I have about the next couple of turns. So, thank you so much for watching. Thanks for all the subscriptions, thanks for all the views, thanks for all the likes and the dislikes. You're still watching. And thank you so much for all the help and support. Again, if you've noticed any errors, please let me know and I will do my best to fix them for next turn. I've only done a round, so hopefully we will be able to fix any errors. Hopefully this time I've managed to pick up all my searches and stuff. We shall see. I'm sure eagle-eyed viewers will point anything I've done wrong out. And oh yes, anybody who's been across to Board Game Links to have a look at the videos over there, thank you so much. And the same goes for anybody at BGG who's had a look at the video threads, made a comment there, made a comment here, drop Geek Gold, anything like that. Thank you so much. But that is it for episode 4. I hope to see you in episode 5. But until then, this is me, Catweazle, signing off. Toodaloo.